N. Srinivasan has refused to step down as the chief of the board of control for cricket in India. He has, however, said he will step aside pending an investigation. Supreme Court is hearing the IPL spot fixing case. Remember, 2 days ago, the Supreme Court had asked Srinivasan to step down if a fair probe is to be conducted into this matter. It had even said that him sticking to his chair is nauseating. The BCCI today has submitted a proposal and has offered to initiate disciplinary proceedings. The Supreme Court has observed that it will have to think very hard about whatever is in the interest of cricket and law. Let me go across to Atit Sharma, my colleague from who's joining us from the Supreme Court. Atit, the hearing still going on, but the court, saying that they will have to think long and hard about the proposal that has been submitted by the BCCI. That's what we know so far, at least. Right, that hearing still going on in the Supreme Court. What everyone is waiting to hear is BCCI's reaction into to the statements or the proposals made by the BCCI. Nikhil Chopra, former Indian cricketer, is joining me in the studio now. Nikhil, BCCI president still saying that he will only step aside and not step down. How does that look to you?
Well, at the end of the day, he's well within his right to defend himself and carry on. But the important thing is, I guess, the apex court has got to decide. Now that it's gone so far, Shivani, I guess it's very important that we get to the bottom of whatever controversies has been happening in the cricket. With the betting scam, with the IPL as well, because it's a fantastic tournament that BCCI has been able to create. I just wish and hope that the apex court decides, gives it to an independent investigative agency to get to the bottom of this, because, with this whole thing going on, you're getting a bad name in the IPL. It's because of a couple of people, that you're getting all the other cricketers painted with the same brush, which should not be the case, because there are lots of youngsters who are looking to make cricket as a career and who are very looking forward to playing this year of IPL as well.
Yes, this is also about the game at large, and that the Supreme Court made clear not just day before but also today, saying that the onus is not, this is not just about Srinivasan, the onus is not just about on him, it's also about the rest of the people in the BCCI, because what Supreme Court said today, Nikhil, was that when there are problems, obviously those in charge have to be blamed.
Well, without a doubt, of course, you've got to be, when things go well for you, you take all the credit. When things don't go your way, then I guess you get blamed also. But I guess like the apex court has been making it clear with their observation is that it's about the game. You want it absolutely clean and cleared. And I believe I was reading in the newspaper, one of our ex-board presidents also said that, might as well give it to the independent investigative agencies to try and figure out what went wrong and clean out the entire mess. And I'm sure Mr. Srinivasan would want that as well, to just regain the trust of the cricket fans that everything is absolutely clear. Whatever the problems were, that has been pushed aside, and the guilty get punished. I've been also hearing that the board has given that proposal that the names in the Mudgal committee, whoever have been furnished, will get punished. But I guess after the probe is completed, the inquiries are completed, the guilty must get punished. It's not the names that furnish in those report. After the full inquiry, Shivani, I think the important thing is the guilty must get punished.
Yes, you mentioned former board president Shashank Manohar saying that, just give the inquiry to the CBI, let them conduct a free and fair investigation. They said very clearly on Tuesday that as long as Srinivasan is in his position, a free and fair probe cannot be conducted into this matter. Atit Sharma is now joining us from outside the Supreme Court. Atit, the hearing still going on. Any more details you have with you?
Shivani, the hearing is still going on, and whatever initially came out was that Mr. Srinivasan has refused to step down. He's agreed to step aside like he did last time around also when Mr. Dalmia took over as an interim head. But this time around also he has refused to budge down, and he has said that he's ready to step aside. So obviously he's adamant, and the hearing is still going on. And also an interesting part coming out right now is that the lawyers are arguing about the conflict of interest, which was which did not happen day before yesterday. This time, Mr. Sundar Raman, the IPL head's case is also being his involvement is also being being argued that he's also an employee of India Cements. That's what one of the lawyers said, and that conflict of interest part is also being discussed. Perhaps that is the reason that that the hearing is going on for so long now. But whatever Mr. Srinivasan has suggested as of now, that he's ready to step aside and let the investigations continue. I just wonder how many investigations are we going to have in this case. There was a first investigation which was the probe ordered by BCCI. Then we had Justice Retired Mudgul Committee formed, and they have submitted their report. So how many investigations are we going to see in this particular case? And is it just a matter of it's just a case of dragging the issue a bit too far till something is some alternative is found to let Mr. Srinivasan continue at the helm of affairs, or at least have his man as the president for interim charge?
Yes, there's no denying N. Srinivasan is in no mood to give up his position as the BCCI president, despite what the Supreme Court had said. This is exactly what headlines today had been saying for more than 12 hours as well, that this is Srinivasan is not going to step down, he's only going to step aside. This is exactly the news that Vedika Sutsacheva, my colleague who's been tracking developments in Chennai, had also told us. Vedika, now it all remains to be seen just how the Supreme Court looks at the BCCI's proposal.
Absolutely, Shivani. Well, as of now, no word coming in from the Srinivasan household. The last time we saw him was this morning when we tracked him to the temple and we tried to speak with him. His body language tense. He refused to give us any direct answers. But Shivani, from what is coming out from the Supreme Court and from what Jaskiris is now telling me, it's clear that N. Srinivasan and removing him from his post is just the tip of the iceberg. Because now what they're discussing in court is the entire conflict of interest issue. And this really goes down the order, and this is something even former BCCI president Mr. Mutaya said to us yesterday when we exclusively spoke with him. He had said that as far as the rot is concerned, well, it's deep within, and that N. Srinivasan should be the first one to resign to clean up the rot within cricket.
Absolutely. The update that we're getting from inside the court, our correspondent there is telling us that there is a massive argument going on from Harish Salve, the counsel for the petitioner in this case, that there's a huge conflict of interest. Of course, everyone knows about Srinivasan's direct conflict of interest, but it's also about others who have seeped into the functioning of not just the board, but also the IPL. What our reporter is telling us, as Atit also mentioned, Sundar Raman's name has been taken. What Harish Salve has told the court is that based on an FIR registered in Jaipur, Sundar Raman is a person who holds a position in both India Cements and IPL. Is that not conflict of interest? And they have also said that based on an FIR registered in Jaipur, Indian captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni is also an employee of India Cements, which is a conflict of interest too. So what the lawyers are doing there is actually establishing how much the conflict of interest goes deep down.